What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to LTH. My name is Abe and this is episode 2 of how to set up your Proxmox environment to an enterprise level. Now this will also apply to HomeLabs. As I said in the introduction video, if you have not watched it, please go watch it if you want to follow this series because it will answer a lot of questions. But if you just want to learn how to use Proxmox and you're just going to do a single node and you're not planning on doing Zeph or high availability, there is still tons to learn about in this course. But for episode 2, we are going to teach you how to now install Proxmox on your nodes. This will be the same for all 3 nodes. I'm just going to show you how to do it with one node. And the only thing you're going to need on top of your hardware, which may just be a single device, again, in the first episode, I explained what devices you can use, is a thumb drive. That's all you need is a thumb drive to flash the OS to. And then you will be able to connect it to your device and flash the operating system of Proxmox onto your device. So let's get over to the desktop and let me show you how to flash this with Proxmox and then install it on your node right now. Now we're at the computer. The only thing I've done between now and when you just saw me was I put that USB into my computer, and then I'm going to, once we're done with this, plug it into the Proxmox node that we're using, the device that we're using, and you will need to plug in a monitor and a keyboard to be able to move through the steps that I'll show you after this. When I'm actually installing it, you will see me looking at a monitor plugged into the Proxmox device, and then you can configure it that way. So do this part if you only have one monitor and one keyboard. Once you're done with this, you can then go plug it into that device and install it. Once it's installed, it is headless. You will not need to continue to keep a monitor and keyboard plugged into it. So again, if you have only one set, that's fine. Just get this part done. Go over there and install it after watching this video, or finish watching this video like on your phone or your tablet. So there's another piece of software we need, which is free, and it's called Etcher. This will create a OS image on a USB drive that boots automatically within our Proxmox node. So go ahead and download this. This will be linked down below in the description on our website. We have tutorials for every single video or commands. So go ahead and do that right now and then come back to this video. So once you have Etcher installed, you need to go to proxmox.com. In my case, I'm English, so it's /English/downloads. And then on here, we need to download the latest version of Proxmox VE 9.1. So again, it's this one right here. If we go back, we don't want the backup server right now, or the mail gateway server, or the data center manager right now. We are looking for VE. So go ahead and download VE. And then once that's done being downloaded, you can unpause this video once again, and I will show you how to check the hash to make sure that between the download server and our computer where we downloaded Proxmox, we didn't get a man-in-the-middle attack where they could possibly inject malicious content into our file. We want to make sure we have a secure and legitimate file, especially for anything we do within our HomeLab. If a hash is provided for you, you always want to check it with the command I'm about to show you. So come back to this video once yours is downloaded. So now you can see in my downloads folder, it is downloaded. We need to check that hash of this file. So how do we do that? Well, one thing to note real quick, it is a SHA-256 hash. So you need to remember that. But within your downloads folder, if you right click on it, and this is true inside of Linux as well, you can open in terminal. So within our terminal, let me make this center. Make that a little bit bigger for you guys. Within here, we can see it automatically opened up in our downloads folder. So if we do ls, we can see a list of files within the downloads folder, and our Proxmox is right here. Just like that. And so we can check the hash with the following command right here. So it's cert util -hash file, your file path here, and then SHA-256. So since we're already in the downloads folder, if we type Proxmox and we just tab, so I just clicked my tab key after doing Proxmox, it found the file because we're already in this directory, and then we can click enter. and we can wait for a second, and it grabbed us our hash. So here's our hash right here, and the command completed successfully. So we've also got confirmation, and then we need to just confirm with this hash right here that we have an identical hash. And you don't need to check every single number. If you check the first four, the last four, they change enough that you'll be okay. So we can see that it's 6D8F, 6D8F, and then 6D22, 6D22. So we know we have a matching hash and there was no man in the middle. So the next thing you want to do is I'm just going to click my Windows key, type Etcher, or it actually likes you to type the full name. So Belena, however you want to say it, Etcher, and then open this up. And once this is open, we're going to go ahead and click Flash from File. And then we're going to grab our good known Proxmox ISO file, click Open, select a target. So we need to find our USB device. And so I do not see mine right now, and it could be a formatting issue. So let me unplug it and plug it back in just to see if we can see it real quick. Okay, so I unplugged and I plugged it back in, and it's right here. I did switch profiles on my computer, so this profile probably just didn't see that I plugged it in. So now that we have our USB device selected, we're going to click it and then click Flash. Click Yes. You may not be able to see this, but it has, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device pop up. And so I'll just click Yes on that pop-up, and then this will start. And once this is finished flashing, you can come back to this video, and I will go plug it in to the device just sitting right next to me, plug in a keyboard, and then I will show you guys what the install process looks like for this. So go ahead, pause the video right now until yours is done flashing. So just like that, it is now completed. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom right, and I know my little icon for my face is in the way, but if you just find the USB device and you right click on it, and you can just eject the device, and then you'll be able to pull it out of your computer safely. And now I'm going to go plug it in to my node that I'm going to install Proxmox on right now. I apologize, this is recording or editing ape here, but for this part, you're going to now take your flashed USB device, plug it into the device you want to flash Proxmox on. While it's turned off, turn that computer on, and then spam your escape key and your delete key, or your escape key and your F12 key, depending on the model of your device, to get into BIOS until you see the BIOS screen appear, and then you can continue to follow the steps with this video. So we are in the BIOS, as you guys can see on your screen, and we're going to go over to the Save and Exit tab, and we're going to select our boot override device, which this is that USB device that has Proxmox on it. But real quick, under Advanced, if you're going to run Proxmox, you want to check a couple settings. It might be under your power and performance. It might be under ACPI, auto configuration. But one of the things in here is you may want to turn off hibernation, because sometimes your nodes sit and they might try to turn them off or put it into a hibernation state, and we don't want that. We want to ensure that our Proxmox device is always on and listening for whenever we connect or use a resource. So I'm going to go ahead and disable that. And then also somewhere within your BIOS settings, you may have another power option where you can set it to power on power restore. So if your power goes out and then it comes back and you're away from your house, soon as your node sees that there's power back to itself, it will automatically boot back up, which means your services will be available to you again. If you're away from home, your power goes out and you don't find that setting within your BIOS, and then you leave it off and you're away, there's no way for you to physically go to your device and turn it back on. So those are two things to consider. But again, find those settings within your Advanced tab of your BIOS somewhere. And then I'm going to go down here back to my boot override and click enter on this right now, and then click yes. So here we are. This is what the Proxmox installation environment, or GUI, looks like. And so I'm going to click install Proxmox VE graphical. So this will take us through all the steps we need to do step by step and make it super easy to configure the settings. So we're going to give this just a second to load all the initial packages, etc., etc. So this probably looks small for you, and it looks small for me as well. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here real quick, just within OBS. And so if we look here on the bottom right, there's this little agree button. And so I'm going to click I agree to the terms of service. And then again, I know it's still pretty small, but you need to pick your hard drive that you're going to install things on. So I only have one plugged in right now, so it makes it easy for us. And so we're going to select that drive of where we're going to install Proxmox and click next. And then here, it's going to ask you where you are located. So the country is the United States, and then what time zone you're in. So I fall into Mountain Time, so I can just do America Boise, and we speak English. So click next. And then set a password that you can remember. You also want this password to be very secure. This is the root password that you're going to use to access this node. So it's something that you need to remember, as well as a legitimate email address. Okay, use a real working email address when you're installing your Proxmox. So let me do that right now. And just like that, so I just used our learn to HomeLab test at gmail.com for testing environment, and then I gave it a password, and I'm going to click next. And then here, if you have multiple NICs, you need to decide which NIC you are going to have your management interface accessible on. Throughout this course, we'll eventually get to a point where we can create a management network and then a public network. Now again, if you only have one Ethernet, one network port, one NIC, that's okay. You can run internet access as well as a management interface on the same port, but these devices do have two Ethernet ports, so I can teach how to create a management network if that's something you're interested in. Again, if it's not, for 99.99% of you that you are creating this for a home lab, one NIC is just fine. So in my case, this shows as NIC 0, and hopefully that's the left NIC, but we're gonna figure that out when we get there. And so the other thing is a fully qualified domain name that you're going to use. This can be a .local domain, but if you're running like a local DNS server or something within your home lab, you could switch it to that domain if you would like to. But again, if you're watching this for Proxmox or setting up your first environment, you probably don't have any of that, so you can leave it at a .local domain. And then before that, you just want to change what the node is. So I'm installing this on my Proxmox 1 node. So I'm going to call this Proxmox 1, just like that, .local domain. And then the IP address, we can see that our gateway is set here, and then our IP address CIDR notation is right there as well for IPv6, it looks like. Again, this is also very blurry and small for me at the moment with how I have to record this for the video, but those settings should be the same. Again, your gateway is going to be your router IP address, right? And my DNS server, I also run on my router, so that is also the same as my router because I run OpenSense with a unbound DNS server, but most people would probably have this set to 1.1.1.1 or 8.8.8.8, which are Google's or Cloudflare's DNS servers. So that's very common for most people to use, and 99% of you are going to fall into that 8.8.8.8, 4 number 8s with dots between them. But in my case, because I run a local DNS server, we're using our router's IP address as well. A little bit of an error. We have the gateway and host IP versions must be different. So when it's saying an IP address, actually, it's talking about this one for the node itself. So that's my bad. I drew a blank as I was trying to explain this. So this one needs to change to something that you can assign that's free within your IP space. So let me hop over to my router real quick. You need to find essentially at least 3 IP addresses in our case, because we're doing 3 Proxmox nodes. If you're just doing one node, you need to find one available IP to statically assign to your device. So if I look at all my devices, 192.168.50. 1, or really dot 2, because dot 1's used by the router, through 254, I need to find 3 IP addresses within this space that are available for me to use. So I can see that we have like a dot 15, a dot 21. If I go to my leases tab, I can see I have a dot 12, a dot 15, but I don't have anything between that. So I'm going to choose to use dot 16, 17, 18, 19, right? Because that's not used. So let's go back over to Proxmox, and I can show you guys assigning that IP address now. And also, this is a /24 address. 99.99% of you are also going to be using a /24, because that's what all the default home routers come with. If you've done something more advanced, you would know that because you did it purposely. So over here, I'm going to use that dot 16, just like that. And then this CIDR notation needs to be 24. So again, I apologize, that's my oversight. And then we're going to click next. And then right here, this is a summary of all of our settings. So the file system will be an ext4. The disk is /dev/SDA, United States, Boise for Mountain Time for me, an email address, the IP address of my device, and the gateway and the DNS server. So if I go back down over there to the right, I can go ahead and click install my node right away. And then we're going to wait for this to clean and wipe the node, or the SSD in our case, with Proxmox. And then once that's done, we can go back over to our desktop. So if you only have one keyboard and one monitor, whatever, once this is done and it reboots, we'll show you what that looks like. You can then go over to your desktop and go to the IP address that you set with the port 8006. So let me go ahead and let this finish, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. So here's what it looks like when it's good to go. So welcome to the Proxmox virtual environment. Go to your browser and go to HTTPS, the IP address, and then that port 8006. So let's go over to the computer and type that in right now. So here we are. I just typed that IP address right into Chrome. I click advanced because this is saying it's not safe because it has this self-signed certificate, but we are the hosts of that self-signed certificate, so we trust it. Your browser by default only knows about certificate authorities, or publicly known certificates that are out on the internet that have been verified by big parties like Google or GoDaddy or whoever the certificate authority is. In our case, this is us self-hosting it, so we trust ourselves. And then you're going to go in here and log in. So if you don't know, the default username is root plus your password. So, and I've logged in just like that. So in my case, what's something that's kind of interesting is if you look, I can't click the OK button. I don't know if this is a bug either with like one of my ad blockers on my computer or my network, or an issue with Proxmox at the moment. And maybe you don't even have that issue, but if I just reload my browser after logging in, that message goes away, and then I have access to the Proxmox dashboard. So that's how you install Proxmox. I'm going to go do this to my other 3 nodes, and then we can continue this video series. And in the next episode, we are going to just talk about host system administration within Proxmox and all of what that entails. I will stay at the beginning of the video. So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching episode 2 specifically. And I hope you guys found this information valuable. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Abe, signing off with another video.